welcome to another episode of All Things Aussie Footy. My name is Ashley and today we will be covering round 7 of the 2022 Toyota AFL Premiership season, as well as taking a look into round 8 of the season. If you haven't already, guys, leave a sub down the bottom, put the bell notification on, leave a comment as well. Let me know what you guys think, what you don't like, what you want to see in the future videos, and we'll try and make it happen for you guys. Also follow us on our socials at All Things Aussie Footy on Facebook. Leave a like on that, send us a message, leave a comment or whatever. Let me know what you guys want to see in these and I'm happy to try and make them work for you. We do thank Rolla Games for coming on and being a partner with us at All Things Aussie Footy. Rolla Games are a new company that have just come out and released a game called For Footy, as you can see down the front here. Amazing game, great fun with all the family, 2 to 5 players. You play timed games like you do in Australian rules football. They recommend about 3 minutes, but you can adjust it, you can shorten it to whatever you guys want to. Great banter, great fun, great laughs with the whole family and friends or whoever you guys want to see fit. You can almost do a sort of fixture style rounds with ladders like the AFL do, or you can just have friendly little scratch matches between each other with a bit of banter. It's always good fun to play, so I thank you to Rolla Games for coming on board and thank you for this game that's just come out. The link for this game will be in the description down below, so will all of their socials, so make sure you guys go give them a like, go and give them a follow and cop yourself a For Footy game. It's a fantastic thing, so thank you again to Rolla Games and For Footy for coming on board for All Things Aussie Footy for the future. Can't wait to see where this leads us. So, getting stuck into it now, I know we're up to round 9 this week. Obviously I've fallen behind due to COVID, so I'm trying to somewhat catch up. I have missed a fair few videos, so I do apologise for that, but let's get stuck into round 7. So round 7 of the season, yes, kicked off on April 29th with West Coast hosting Richmond. Not much to say about this game, but absolutely terrible from West Coast. Richmond running away with a massive 165-56 win. Can't really say much about it. It was a dismal display by the Eagles, who have really fallen off the perch this year, and they are right down there, unfortunately, at the wooden spoon spot. They've never been wooden spooners in an 18-team competition. They have won it before, but not with 18 teams. They need to get their arse into gear. Geelong and Fremantle started the Super Saturday of football at Skilbert Stadium, or GMHBA Stadium, whatever you want to call it. Geelong ultimately fell short, unfortunately. Fremantle proving their dominance this year and looking very likely to be a contender for the Premiership. They ran away with a 69-66 win, so 3 points in the end there. Absolutely amazing. Freo proving why they need to be kind of looked at being premiers, or even going late into September, potentially even making a grand final. So watch out for them, they're on the march. The next game that we saw in round 7 on Super Saturday was the Crows at the Adelaide Oval playing host to the GWS Giants. Obviously Adelaide's been up and down. Tex Walker's only come back a couple of weeks ago from what happened last year. It's always good to see him back. But the Giants ultimately run away with a massive and much needed win for them. Running away 113-54 win. Just phenomenal. Melbourne and Hawthorn played out a classic at the MCG. It ended with Melbourne running away a 10-point win with 91-81, but it was still an all-time great game. If you haven't watched it already, go and watch that replay. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it before my Saints ended up going down. But great game. Go and watch the replay, or even go and watch the highlights. It was an amazing game. Great camaraderie between the two teams, and it still goes to show you why Melbourne are sitting on top undefeated. They're going to be looking at going back to back. Fremantle, I reckon, are going to have a good chance at knocking them off the way they're going, but We won't know for sure until that comes around. St Kilda and Port Adelaide, absolutely dismal game. Dismal game, not just by the Saints but by both teams. Yes, the game was played in Cairns, very tricky conditions to play up there, especially at the stadium. Very dewy, very slippery, it was hard to control the ball. With only 9 goals kicked between the two teams. Port ran away with a 1-point win over the Saints, 42-43. I don't want to see us going back to Cairns again. Unfortunately, we don't have any luck up there. Last year, we started off, I think it was like 36-0, and we still lost to the Crows. Now we've lost to Port Adelaide by a point after having a good fast start. It's very tricky to play in Cairns, but we just go on to the next week and hope to bounce back. To round out Super Saturday, obviously Carlton, North Melbourne, very one-sided game. We all knew what the end result was going to be here. Carlton running away 114-64 win. Very one-sided game. Carlton taking that one. It's not an issue. North Melbourne just need to try and find where they're at, try and find that leadership within their players. I'm sure they'll find that probably later in the season, but it'll probably be too late by then. Collingwood and the Collingwood and the Suns, not the Giants, the Suns kicked off Sunday football with Collingwood running away a 115-90 win. High scoring, fast paced game. It was another one I enjoyed. It was 25 points the margin in the end, but the game did not reflect that at all. It was played in good spirits by both teams and thoroughly enjoyed watching that one. The Bulldogs and Essendon. Essendon got off to a quick start with this. Bulldogs just kept fighting back. Ultimately, Bulldogs running away with a 103-71 win. Absolute domination in that. The Swans and the Lions. Big game for the Lions, who haven't won at the SCG in quite a few years. So they were looking to try and break the hoodoo, and they did. So big congratulations to the Brisbane Lions on running away with a 113-89 victory. So there was a few up and down results in there, a few big games from players, a few not so great games as well. The Saturday footy, there's only a couple of decent games in there. So the Geelong Fremantle, Melbourne Hawthorn and St Kilda Port Adelaide, really the only games I thoroughly enjoyed for that one. Not because the other ones were massive results, it was just they showed skill between those 6 teams and why they need to be kind of considered of making premiership. I know making finals at least. I know Port Adelaide are kind of down here a little bit, but I feel like they're starting to find their mojo. Port Adelaide, I feel like are going to somewhat try and bounce back and may just sneak into the 8. At the start of the season, I did have them finishing 4th on the ladder. I don't think that's going to happen now, but we will wait and see as to what happens with Port. But to me, they're looking like they're finding a bit of momentum now. Hopefully, they've found that gear shift that can propel them towards the 8 and scrape through and make finals. Same deal with St Kilda. We've been knocking on the doors for a couple of years now. We made finals in 2020. Made it through to the semi, unfortunately getting knocked out by Richmond that year. But for the past few years, we've been knocking on the door. We've been pushing our way into finals, but haven't been able to get there. This year's looking very promising for us, so I can't wait to see how that goes. Hopefully we keep a healthy squad all the way through. Fremantle's another team that I reckon are going to make finals. Obviously sitting second at the moment. Obviously that after this round was done, they're sitting 3rd, but right now they're sitting 2nd. So that's going to be a massive help to them. It's going to keep their boost up. The last time I've seen them this high was, I believe it was 2013. They ended up making the grand final that year versus Hawthorn, ultimately going down, but putting up a major fight back. I've still got to give them credit for that one. The Sunday games, there's a few good ones in there, so Gold Coast and Collingwood, as well as Sydney and Brisbane. The Bulldogs Essendon game was a bit of a topsy-turvy one for me. I'm kind of in no man's land with that. I enjoyed it, but I didn't really enjoy it at all. It was very, very up and down for me. But like I said, guys, some of these rounds here that I'm looking at, it was very up and down round of football. The biggest upset for me would obviously be Port and St Kilda. Saints were actually going in as favourites this game, but we just didn't kick accurate. Neither did Port, so that's not really an excuse, but that's very tricky up in Cairns. But that was a big disappointment game for me, not only because it was my team, but the favourites go down. But yeah, round 7's done and dusted in the books. Not much else I can report with that. So yeah, let's just up and down. But we'll look at round 8. We see 2 games being played on the Friday night. Obviously with Port Adelaide and the Bulldogs, Fremantle and North Melbourne. It's going to be a big Friday night. Unfortunately, those 2 games clash with each other, so it's kind of, if you want to watch one, you can't watch the other unless you do have KO Sports. Not plugging, but the one I'm looking forward to that night is Port Adelaide and the Bulldogs. Obviously being a WA boy, I don't mind the Dockers. Not a big fan of them, but they're playing North Melbourne. So the game I'm looking forward to with that one is Port and the Bulldogs. Fremantle will play North Melbourne, like I said, at Optus Stadium in front of the Purple Army. As massive weekend of footy on the Saturday. We've got Richmond and Collingwood at the MCG. Big game, that one. Hopefully they get some sort of like a grand final atmosphere for that. The Suns and the Swans. The Giants and the Cats. Essendon, Hawthorn, Brisbane and West Coast. Unfortunately there's a few outs in there for Brisbane. Major outs for West Coast. Ultimately they've had to call up a few of the Waffle players to come through as top-up players to make way for their squad. There has been investigations launched into a nightclub incident with a few Eagles players after their massive loss at home. So hopefully nothing comes out. Well, hopefully they get what they deserve. But I feel for the Eagles. They've got no team to field for their Waffle side, so they've had to postpone that game. They've had to call up a lot of Waffle players to come and play for the Eagles up at the Gabba. Hopefully they can somewhat make a decent score with that. And then Sunday, obviously 2 games on the Friday. We're going to have 2 on the Sunday. That's starting with Melbourne and the Saints, and Carlton and Adelaide. Obviously, I'm a Saints supporter, if you can't tell, with all the videos of what I'm wearing, the jersey, all the rest of it. But we're not strong enough to beat Melbourne. Melbourne's not going to come away. But I hope it's a close game, and I'm looking forward to watching that one and bringing you guys a recap of that round. It is a massive weekend of footy coming up. We've just had a massive weekend gone. But other than that, guys, I do apologise. It is a short, very, very short episode. But there is a lot to get through. Well, there's a lot of videos I've got to go and make now. Hopefully we kind of extend it out a little bit, but we'll see what happens anyway. Other than that, guys, hit the subscribe button down below, leave a like or a comment as well. Go and follow us on Facebook at All Things Aussie Footy, link in the description down below. Go and cop yourself a Mad for Footy game as well. So thank you to Rolla Games again for coming on board. Hopefully they come out with some more stuff that I can show you guys, but go and cop yourself a game. It's a great game. You'll enjoy it. All of their links down below as well, with their Facebook, Instagram, where you can go and buy the game. So go and cop yourself one of those. But other than that, guys, I guess that's really it. So we will see you guys in the next episode.